I was hoping the Bengals could, give me a little hand here because we've had our opportunities to run away with the division from Arizona. We weren't able to capitalize. The loss to Cleveland, the loss to them straight up in Arizona. So I was hoping Cleveland could give us a hand on this day and let us jump ahead by 2 games, but it was not to be. I love Carson Palmer. I've really thought he was going to be a great player for a couple years now, but sometimes he goes out there and looks like Rex Grossman. He throws these... Cincinnati's not a team that can find ways to win games in spite of turnovers, and he just kind of hurls it up a lot, and he throws touchdowns, he gets yards, but he'll throw plenty of picks, and he's one of the reasons Cincinnati's such a poor team this year. He's not the complete reason, but he hasn't helped. He throws these retarded interceptions way too often. On this day, he had, 3 to Antrell Roll alone. He had that one to Carlos Dansby. Most of them were just bad throws. Roll made the Bengals his bitch for one day. He was a high pick in the 2005 draft and never did much of anything, but maybe now he's living up to his potential, so we'll see how he comes along. I always kind of questioned whether or not he was worth going that high, but here he is with his landmark game. We'll see if he can build on that. Warner continues to play very well. He hasn't gotten hurt yet. Obviously, he's very delicate right now, but he hasn't gotten hurt. Larry Fitz, just that whole offense is playing well right now. I got to give credit to TJ Houshmandzadeh. He scored another touchdown, so he scored at least 1 TD in every game this year but 1. So he continues to be a statistical monster and should be in the Pro Bowl this year. Jaguars, Chargers. I'm sick of betting on this Chargers team, so this week I did take Jacksonville simply because I can't take the Chargers seriously anymore, and it paid off nicely. If you haven't seen it yet, go find a replay of this game and watch Maurice Jones-Drew lay that block on Sean Merriman at the goal line. That was a thing of beauty, especially when you consider, Maurice Jones-Drew is a small guy, and, Sean Merriman is Sean Merriman. Garrard came back and did what he does, played a conservative, very well-played game, a couple of touchdowns. Fred Taylor and Mojo got involved. The defense made timely turnovers. The safeties, Reggie Nelson, Sammy Knight, 2 pretty underrated guys. Reggie Nelson should be in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know if he'll win, but he should be in the running. So Jacksonville, they're in pole position for the wild card, and I think they're going to get it. And, San Diego, gotta give the ball to LT more. I don't care if you're down. I don't care if LT is struggling. You can't put the game in Phillip Rivers' hands because it's become pretty apparent at this point that he just isn't that good. He might even be a complete and utter bust. That's what I think he looks like out there right now. He's dancing around in the pocket and throwing these lame ducks. He's missing open receivers. He's throwing crucial interceptions, and occasionally he shows potential. He threw some nice passes to Chambers and Gates. He can be good, but right now he's going through a very hard time. I think he's trash, but if you want him to come around, I think you got to just start feeding the ball to LT again and hope he can get back on track. In any case, I think Denver can win that division now, but I am so torn on that division. It's just pretty awful right now. I know the NFC West, my division, isn't much better, but the AFC West is worse, and every week I seem to change my opinion here. We'll see. I think Denver can do it, though. Tampa Bay stomps on Atlanta pretty handily. Somebody's going to have to explain to me why Byron Leftwich got this start. He promptly turned it over 3 times, was completely unproductive, couldn't get the Falcons on the board at all. So, got to second guess that. Atlanta just couldn't move the ball at all. Their offense just isn't that good, of course, but Harrington was getting things done, at least. So Harrington did come in. He's going to start this week, rightfully so. I think he's deserved it. And as for Tampa, they got a little bit of a running game going with Ernest Graham. He's starting to get the job done. Galloway had a nice day, a couple of nice big plays. Garcia continues to play conservatively well. The defense forces turnovers and even scores a little bit on their own. Barrett Rudd is in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. They got that division almost wrapped up. All they got to do is keep on winning. They should be... I believe they're undefeated within their division, so all they got to do is take care of business. Winning the division should be pretty easy from here on out. Let's see, Vikings, Raiders. I caught the end of this game. I still got to credit Culpepper because he's doing better than I ever thought he could. He's making some nice throws, making some nice decisions, and, he's not perfect. But when you consider what this guy was signed for and the situation he's in and what he's been through, I'm impressed. He threw for 300 yards. He had a couple of nice big plays. I mean, Oakland didn't win, and he's partially to blame, but, I think he's doing better than most people expected. As for Minnesota, Tavares Jackson, he's shown me a little something. I still think Minnesota needs to take a quarterback like Andre Woodson, but he's showing me a little something out there that maybe he can at least manage the game, and Minnesota's still in the running for a wild card spot. They got the tiebreaker on Chicago, and they're 4-6, and the NFC's pretty weak. So if they get Adrian Peterson back soon, don't forget about them. Chester Taylor had that huge game, proving that that offensive line deserves a lot of credit. The defense forced turnovers and got pressure, something that they need to do more often. And you gotta wonder if Sidney Rice should be starting for this team right now because, if you saw his 2 passes, that's better quarterback play than I've seen from either Minnesota quarterback so far this season, Let's see, you got the Packers-Panthers. Packers take a big lead. Panthers try and fight their way back, but it's all for naught. Favre played pretty well. It wasn't he wasn't brilliant or anything, but he put up the good numbers and got the job done. I think Green Bay needs credit for giving him a short field. Brian Grant continues to look good. Hopefully he gets to play this Thanksgiving. He got dinged up a bit. I think he'll be okay. That punt return on the pooch punt, the fake punt, that got returned for a touchdown. That was just such a weird thing because, Carolina knows it's a punt. They go out there and everybody knows that they're going to punt it, for the Carolina team, that is. And Carolina seemed completely shocked when Green Bay decided to return it, even though they knew it was a punt. And, of course, he went 94 yards for his touchdown in an important play in that game. And that's one of the reasons why Carolina struggled last year and is struggling this year. Plays like that. Things that shouldn't happen. And, this team is just really just not getting it done right now, and my sleeper pick is now pretty much officially dead. I guess they're not completely out of it. They're 4-6, but they're just not a good enough team, I think, to do much of anything. I don't know where they go from here. I don't know much of what else to say on this. Eagles, Dolphins. Finally, Cam Cameron was right about something. We did love Ted Ginn on that one punt return. Finally, he breaks off a big play, but it didn't make a difference for Miami. It was a great play. Only highlighted the day for Miami for the most part. John Beck went out there. Didn't look very good for a start, but, you got to believe maybe he'll come along. Didn't look so hot. Jesse Chapman continues to actually, you wonder. Next year, maybe Ricky Williams and Jesse Chapman and Ronnie Brown. This team should be able to run the ball next year. And Ricky's coming back this week, looks like, so we'll see how he can play. I got to give credit to the Miami defense. They got pretty good pressure. They forced 3 turnovers. But ultimately, they're 0-10. So what kind of praises can you really lambast over them? As for Philly, McNabb got knocked out of the game. I give credit to Brian Westbrook for having a career day. A.J. Feely came in, was shaky at first, but he got it together and led the Eagles to the victory. So credit there. And once again, Philly comes up with a game-saving goal line stand. So 5-5. Season's not over yet. They need to win 2 of the next 4, I think. Not going to be easy, but we'll see how they can manage it. They got Dallas, they got the Giants, they got New England, and Seattle, and I think they need to win 2 of those 4, so let's see.